Hello my friends, γεια σας. This is Matilda and welcome again to Tilda's Cookbook. While we're getting closer to the holiday of Christmas, I'm going to be sharing with you some traditional dishes and desserts. Today I'm going to show you the turkey stuffing. In Greece, we cook the turkey for the traditional Christmas Eve dinner, and this is a recipe I hope you're going to love. So let's get started. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 2 cups of yellow barboiled rice, 2 cups of meat broth, and I have homemade one, but you can use anything you have, 2 cups of water, and in case you want to use additional broth, it's okay, half a cup of sliced almonds, half a cup of raisins, a third of a cup of pine nuts, 200 grams of chestnuts that I'm going to boil and clean, of course, 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 400 grams of chicken liver, and here I have it mixed with hearts, 2 to 3 tablespoons of flour for my liver, half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of pepper, again for my liver, and of course extra virgin Greek olive oil. At first, I put my almonds and the pine nuts in a tray and put them in the oven at 165 degrees for 5 to 7 minutes to give them a little color. And this is something you can do in a pan if you want to. After 7 minutes, my nuts are ready. See what a beautiful golden color they have. This is the color they need to get. You have to be really careful with them because they get burned very easily. Even if you decide to do it in a pan, you have to have it on low heat. After I have cleaned and cut in smaller pieces my liver and hearts, I put the salt and pepper and give them a little mix. I put them on a wider tray and I'm gonna sprinkle on top of them some flour. I didn't do it here because my sieve was broken, but for best results it's better to sift your liver, take the excess flour off. Then I put my heat on high, pour some olive oil on it, 4 to 5 tablespoons, we need to cover the base. And as soon as the olive oil is warmed up quite a lot, I put my chopped onion and garlic, and I put it through a processor, you can even chop it, perhaps it's better, and let it saute for 2 to 3 minutes. After a few minutes, I put my liver in, trying to have them separated as much as possible, and let it cook for a few minutes on the bottom. And then turn them around after a couple of minutes to make sure they get cooked on the other side as well. Before the flour starts getting really dark on the bottom of my pan, I add some water, about half a cup. I scrape it a little bit and add some more water if it's needed. Give it a little mix. And then lower my heat to below medium, closer to low. Cover it with a lid and let it cook. Then in another pot, I put my heat on high, pour in the meat broth, and the water, and I only put a little bit of olive oil because my meat broth had olive oil in it. But if you buy the ones from the market, you need to add some more. As soon as my broth has boiled, I pour in the rice Give it a little mix. And at this time I add 1 teaspoon of salt, and this is because my broth also was a bit salted. If you buy from the market again and it's not salted, you need to add some more. Again, I give it a little mix. Cover it with the lid. Lower my heat to below medium, in between medium and low, and let it cook for approximately 15 minutes. While they're both cooking, and 5 minutes before we turn the heat off on our liver, I add the chestnuts and the raisins and give it a little mix and let it cook for an extra 5 minutes before I take it off the heat. As soon as my rice and livers are ready, I pour them into the rice with the raisins and chestnuts and give it a little mix until they get nicely incorporated with the rice. Then I pour in the almonds and the pine nuts with a nice golden color, and again give them a mix to incorporate them with the rest of the stuffing. And as a final touch, I put a tablespoon of butter because it gives it an excellent aroma, and it also helps the rice from sticking to each other. It makes it fluffier. And my stuffing is ready. So some of my stuffing, I use it to put it inside the turkey, and the rest of it I put it in a mold and have it ready to put on a plate for the dinner table.
For the tasting purposes, I put a little bit of my stuffing in a little mold. See how beautiful it is? And I am going to give it a try. There. It is delicious. The rice is nicely cooked with the broth, and it has a meaty taste, and with the crunchiness of the almonds and the pine nuts, it's really amazing.
If you like this recipe, please share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to get notified on new uploads, and I'd love to read your comments. Until next time, happy cooking και καλή σας όρεξη. Bye bye everyone!